My name is Ronnie Godfrey, and this is our 1969 Cherokee 140, affectionately known as Sally.
The Piper Cherokee went into production in 1961 and is still produced today. The Cherokee 140 was introduced in 1964 and was initially intended to be a primary chainer. The first few airplanes only had 2 seats and a 140 horsepower engine, but most were quickly upgraded to the 150 horsepower engine with 4 seats. The Cherokees are known for their low cost of operation and their fuel economy. Most people watching this video probably have cars that cost more to buy than these older Cherokees. In this video, we're going to talk to the owner, Ronnie, and then take it up in the air.
I got into aviation as a young kid. My uncle took me up in his 310 when I was about 3 years old, and I got the bug real bad. Got into flight simulators and all that stuff when I was a little bit older, 8 or 10. Took my first flying lesson at 12 with the same uncle that took me up in the 310. He was an airline pilot, so I took a few flying lessons after that. Gas prices went up a whole bunch and flying just got too expensive, so I had to put it on the back burner for a little while. Fast forward to 2015, my cousin had an airplane, had gotten his CFI, and we were together at Christmas one year and got to talking, and it's like, hey man, why don't we finish your pilot's license? And I was like, yeah, it sounds great. So they were gracious enough to let me come up to DFW during the summer, which worked out because I was teaching school, and spent a couple of weeks. And during those couple of weeks, I paid him for gas, crashed at his place. We just were airplane bums for almost a whole summer, and it was really cool. Got almost to completion, and the weather just crapped out for like 2 weeks straight, and so we had to kind of hang it up. And anyway, over the time, I eventually finished up. I finished here in Gladewater with a fella flying a Warrior, and got my license in June of 17. And shortly thereafter, started a new job at a new school, and one of my colleagues was interested in flying, and I said, well man, if you want to learn to fly, let's go on a plane together. I need to build some time, and you want to get your license, this is a good way to do it. We can save some money and have our own plane. So we bought Sally here, that's what we named her, in October of 2017, and flew her home from St. Louis, and we've had her since then. So some of the pros and cons to shared ownership. Pros are you get to split all the costs 50-50. When we did this, we sat down, we got a written agreement, we outlined all the details, and basically we split all of the maintenance. The airplane's financed, so we split all of that stuff: the hangar fee, insurance, annual, and the payment. We treat it like an escrow account. We have a bank account that's set up. We each auto draft out of our checking accounts into that every month. Plane payments auto drafted. We pay 6 months at a time for the hangar, and we just had our first annual done. Ran us about $2,000. We had saved $1,200, so we upped that this year to be more at that 2,000 mark. So that's been a really nice thing about it. The cons for us there really haven't been any. We both have a similar philosophy when it comes to owning and maintaining an airplane, and I think that's the most important thing. If you're going to go in on one with somebody, you've got to share the same mindset. Our mindset is that if something's broken, we fix it. We don't defer maintenance to the annual or anything like that. We keep the airplane maintained. We change the oil every 50 hours, and we're really good also about catering to each other's schedules. If we try to communicate well in advance what we want to do. If he's got a flying lesson, or if I want to take a trip, or whatever, scheduling really hasn't been much of an issue. It's been a good experience for us. Your mileage may vary, but for us, it's worked out really well. This may be, the wrong idea, but the whole idea was to save some money over renting. There's a lot of guys that say owning is, a worse deal than renting. There's a lot of guys that say renting is a worse deal than owning. I think that just varies according to your airplane, what you run into as far as maintenance is concerned, and how often you fly. I flew about 70 hours last year. For me, just the money coming out of my account every month kind of holds me accountable. So it's like, I better go fly or I'm just going to throw away that money. So for me, it's a really good thing because I have a very busy schedule. I teach school and I sell real estate, and I have a 4-month-old and a wife, and you know, so flying for me is something I have to be intentional about, and having the money coming out every month is kind of what makes me do that. If I was renting an airplane, I don't think I would fly nearly as much, and I think it would be more expensive for me in the long run. If I don't count the down payment that we put toward the airplane, I absolutely spent less than $8,000 this year. We had a couple of maintenance hurdles that we had to jump. One of our magnetos crapped out, so we had to have that rebuilt, $800 or so. The GPS had to be overhauled, so we sent that off to Garmin. That set us back about $1,200. Plus the you know, $300 a month we were each paying into the account. You know, that's $3,600 plus what? I was like $5,000 for, you know, 72 hours. This is a 1969 Cherokee 140. It lived in West Texas for a lot of its life, and we bought it from a guy up in Ohio. He had bought it for his wife to flight train in, and they had a Cirrus, and they just really didn't need this airplane anymore, and so they were unloading it. Got 4 seats in it. It's not really a 4-person airplane though. It's really more of a 2 or 3 maybe. If you're going to take 3 people, you're probably going to leave some fuel on the ground. But my wife and I can fill the tanks up all the way, throw our bags in the back, go somewhere for a weekend, and it's great. It'll cruise about 110 knots, you know, depending on the winds. It's not a super fast airplane, but it's a good time builder, and that's kind of what our mission was when we bought it. It's got a power flow exhaust on it, so that helps with the performance a little bit over a stock engine. It's IFR certified, so it's good for instrument training, and which is what I'm about to start doing next. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's had a new paint job, you know, so it's been taken good care of. We picked the 140 because it was a cheap way to fly an airplane, really. I mean, it only burns 8 gallons an hour, and that's if you're going at, you know, 2,500 RPMs. You can crank it back to 2,300 RPMs, 2,350, and you can fly on 6 gallons an hour and just have a great time. The other reason we picked it is because it's a reasonably capable traveling machine if you want to go somewhere. We looked at 150s, we looked at 172s. The 150 just wasn't capable enough. You know, it's 2 people tops, and there's really no payload to speak of. The 172s were way higher in price than the Cherokee 140s, so this was the best bang for our buck, and we chose it because it's just economical. It's a good way to own a plane, you know, for not a whole lot of money. About a car payment, really. A lot of people think that aviation is really expensive and really inaccessible, but that's not always the case. I mean, you can go out right now and buy a Cessna 150 for like 20 grand. You know, and just have a blast with it. If I had to add something else, I would just say that, you know, I'm a school teacher. My wife is a former school teacher. You know, I sell real estate on the side, and aviation's been a passion of mine. And it's one of those things that if you want to go do it, figure out a way. Don't let money stop you. There's always money. You can always find it somewhere. You know, get another stream of income, spend less money, pay off a vehicle, whatever you got to do. If you want to fly, go fly, man. Life's too short. I sell real estate here in the greater Longview area, all around East Texas. If you want to find me, I'm on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com/Ronnie the Realtor, and I'll show up on there. And if you're interested in buying some property here in East Texas, feel free to hit me up.
All right, you ready to go fly?
Let's go fly.
All right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, during the flight, I had some audio technical difficulties and was unable to record the intercom audio.
Got 2 runways here in the field, though, which is kind of nice. One of them's only like 2,300 feet, so I like to avoid that when I can.
Yeah.
Pretty calm event. Yeah, we'll do 3-2.
Yeah, it's just calm. There's a little bit of breeze, but the stock's not moving much.
Yeah. Whitewater Cherokee 8742 November, taxi runway 32, departure.
Right. It's clear. How long is the longest one?
32.
What do you run on the iPad here?
Usually I have full flight running just for situational awareness.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
I'm taking a little trip. That's the time I'll have it running, but I've got the Stratus as well, so it's ADS-B in.
Yeah.
Which helps out a little bit. Usually on flights like this, I don't do it very much. Takeoff runway
Those for 1000 AGL, then we'll double back the runway. Our procedure is complete. Fuel selectors on the proper tank. Flaps, set those to 10. Yeah, the manual usually says flaps 0 for the Cherokee, but I've found through experimentation that flaps 10 works pretty well. Primer is locked. Mixture is set. RP is off. Electric fuel pump is on. Engine gauges are all green. Circuit breakers are all in. Controls are all free and correct. Trim tab set to neutral. Flight instruments, altimeters, field elevation, and our DG should read 216, and it reads about 216. Good. Seat backs are erect, belts and harnesses are fastened, empty seats are secured, doors latch, and landing lights on. We'll take off complete. Alright, we're ready to go. Alright. Low water traffic, Cherokee 8742 November, taking off runway 32, north departure, lead water. Looks like the approach is clear. Fogging up in here, right there. Yeah, cold torch.
I had to cut out a lot of the flight due to audio issues, but we went up to Gilmore for a touch and go, and then we turned back to Gladewater.
Traffic trick is looking over left base and 6 touch down. it's the way the Cherokee glide.
Alrighty, back safe and sound.
Yes, sir. And the old saying about throwing the brick out the window and falling to the ground is pretty true in these things. Yeah.
Hey, Ronnie, thanks so much.
Thanks, Bobby. It was a good time, man.
Yeah, it was great airplane. I can see how you enjoy flying it. So.
Absolutely.
And if you want to buy a house in near this Glade, wait, near Terrell or
Longview.
Longview, Terrell. There you go. Steve Grimes.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you for watching another episode of Flying Doodles. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please do click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let you know we have a new video every week, sometimes 2 videos a week. I'd love to fly with you. There's an email down below where you can send me a message. We can set something up, go fly. Love to.
I'll be filming in the Austin area March 29th to the 31st. If you'd like to have your airplane featured on one of our videos, send me a message on the email listed here.